Hey, it's Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO here in Lubbock, Texas. If you are not in Lubbock, you can listen online at KFYO.com. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. So a lot to talk about, obviously, on the Wednesday edition of the program, including Jeff Sessions and what he had to say to the Senate committee. But something else that would be making even bigger headlines if it weren't for Jeff Sessions and the whole Russia deal. President Trump apparently now not a fan of the House version of the Obamacare repeal and replace. Remember the scene a couple of months ago where you had Republicans celebrating in the Rose Garden, President Trump slapping the back of Paul Ryan and shaking hands with a bunch of Republicans and saying, this is what people have been waiting for. This is what we need. The House finally passed a bill out to repeal and replace Obamacare. It's the greatest thing ever. It's a luxurious bill. Well, apparently it's now too mean. According to sources to CNN, The Hill, and numerous other publications, President Trump, when meeting with members of the Senate committee who are currently working on the health care reform bill, he apparently said that the House version of the repeal and replace bill is too mean. Trump made clear multiple times that he was pleased that the Senate negotiations appeared to be moving away from where the House version of repeal and replace efforts ended up, according to three sources familiar with the meeting. Again, more leaks. Trump told lawmakers that the House bill did not go far enough in protecting individuals in the marketplace and appeared to use that as his rationale for why he called twice for the Senate to, quote, add more money to the bill. The positive comments, according to CNN, about the Senate plan tracks with Trump telling reporters during the meeting that the Senate should spend more on the bill to make it generous, kind, and with heart. The comment belies the celebratory Rose Garden ceremony that Trump hosted earlier in the year when House Republicans passed the bill and the president championed it as, in quote, incredibly well crafted. The luncheon, which brought together an eclectic group of Republican lawmakers, was organized to give the president a chance to check in on the process, not twist arms with the hopes of striking a deal, the White House said. But his call for more funding could make it more difficult to sell to House Republicans and even to more conservative members of the U.S. Senate, like Mike Lee, Rand Paul, and Ted Cruz. Okay, so where does this lead us? Did Donald Trump really say that the House version of the bill was mean? If he did, I don't know what he's doing right now. Maybe there's a reason behind all of this, but honestly, President Trump, he needs to kind of get into the background on this, and it makes him look a little bit foolish if he was out there in the Rose Garden celebrating what the House did, only to come back weeks later and say, well, it was too mean. We don't like what happened. We don't like this version of the bill. We need to come out with something else. Listen, the Senate was always going to come out with a different version of the Obamacare repeal and replace bill, but it has to go to the House. What the president has to remember is that he can't lose that many voters, both in the Senate or in the House. He's got to get these guys to work together to come out with the final product. And by the way, they've got to work together on something that can get through the House Freedom Caucus, but also the House and Senate moderates and some of the more liberal members of the Republican Party, both in the House and the Senate. Going out and saying that the House created a version of the bill that was too mean, I don't think really endears him with anyone in the House of Representatives. For President Trump, he's got to remember this is a fragile process. It's a bumpy road, and he added just another slight bump into the process by making the comment, if he actually made the comment, that has been reported that the House version was a little too mean. Listen, I hate to break it to the president. There are a lot of conservatives that would like a really mean version of the bill, which would be a complete repeal of Obamacare and nothing to replace it at all. That is something that conservatives, a lot of conservative voters have wanted. They don't want to repeal and replace bill. What they want, at least what I've heard from a lot of listeners, is they want the government to be completely out of the healthcare business, to get out of the healthcare or health insurance industry, to wash our hands of it and say, hey, if you want to buy insurance, it's all up to you. Let the companies compete against each other. But the U.S. government is not going to get involved in the health insurance market. That is what a lot of conservatives want, and I think this president would say it's a little too mean. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time News Talk, 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. Have a great day. We'll talk next time.